Hello everyone, I'm back. It's been a while since I had even time to do one of my YouTube videos, and you know me, I'm happiest when I'm teaching. So I finally hired amazing staff down at the sauna, and I'm able to just get back to doing what I love. So here I am today. Over the last few weeks, I've been kind of tipping into the kind of collective energy on my Instagram, my social media page. I put up a video the other day about 2025, and the response has just been a bit overwhelming. A lot of people are struggling at the minute. This year has definitely been one of the hardest years that humanity has ever faced. Okay, it's not just a personal thing that's happening to everyone. This is definitely a bigger collective experience. So I've been doing my notes, I've been doing a bit of research, and I just wanted to hopefully bring a little bit of clarity, a little bit of guidance, and just some hope and safety, I suppose, to everyone. And it's easier for me to just do my video and send it out to everyone. I've done a little bit of a timeline. So if you've done a one-to-one session with me or any of my workshops this year, I've been focused on this timeline, this energetic timeline from 2020 to 2030. The world is changing. There's no ifs and buts about it. We're going through something humanity has never faced before. But what does that all mean? And how does that affect us? And how do we know when we're in it? How do we know who's been affected? And what do we do about it? I've done a little recap of 2020 to 2024, and it will help you understand why this year has been so difficult. So if you have a few minutes, listen up, put on the kettle, grab a cup of tea, take some notes, and just do what you have to do. If you found this video today, good, your soul has brought you here. You need to, something in what we're going to do here today will help. Okay, so from 2020 to 2024, there's been it's been a deep collective purge. And when I say collective, I mean everybody globally. 2020 was a shock, fear, and a global freeze, okay? That was when the pandemic hit. So 2020 was a collective shock, fear, and a global freeze. This was the initial rupture in everyone's nervous system. There was a sudden loss of control. There was a threat everywhere, okay? So remember back then, 2018, 2019, we're all just kind of asleep energetically. We're living that kind of mundane life, you know? We're just moving with the times. We have our routine, we have our jobs, we have all of that stuff, and all of a sudden that gets taken away from us. There was this total uncertainty in the world. There was a collapse of routine, structure, and identity. So when I'm going through this, I want you to relate it back to your nervous system, okay? From safety to fear, from safety to fear. That's what happened to us. There was a financial panic. Survival mode was switched on. Most of us in the world had already been living in fight or flight or freeze, but this was to another level, okay? Survival mode was switched on. And it never switched back off, okay? I want you to remember that. In 2020, the survival mode was switched on, but it never switched back off. Most people never came out of this. They adopted, but they didn't heal, okay? We adopted to this new normal, but we never actually went back and addressed, okay, I've been through a huge traumatic event. Something's not right. I need to look at this. We didn't heal, okay? There was no regulation work done. Your system stayed on guard long after life resumed. So when everything started to open back up, we thought we were all back to normal. Our nervous system stayed on guard. This was the first crack, okay? So 2021, this was the overcompensation year, and I had to look into this one a little bit. There was this pressure, get back to normal. We just all need to get back to normal, okay? Open your business, but do this, and this. You want to go traveling, you want to see your family, okay, do this. There was this pressure, this push. Let's get back to normal. But people swung from this shutdown, okay? First of all, we were told we can't go anywhere. Now we were being pushed back. So we went from shutdown to overdoing. we were pushing ourselves so hard to get back to normal, pretending everything was fine. It clearly wasn't. Nothing about the last 4 years has been normal. Nothing is fine. This is fucked up. We can say it. We were trying to rebuild. There was this quick pressure. Do it now. Fix it. Fix it. We emotionally bypassed what was going on in our body, okay? We went straight up to our head. Fix this. Do this. Let's just get it all back open. But we bypassed what was happening in our body. And if you have heard of Dr. Gabor Mate, which I'm sure most of you have, if you're kind of in my space, Dr. Gabor Mate always talks about the body holds the score, okay? So the body will hold on to the trauma until we go back and release and do the work to release it. We went through these big burnout cycles. There was an increased exhaustion, but it was hidden, okay? It was sneaky. This was the year, so 2021 was the year that people forced themselves to function while we were still traumatized, okay? We had been seeing crazy stuff on the news. We've been inundated with these statistics and deaths and all of that stuff. But we were forced back out into the world like it was normal, and it wasn't, okay? The body carried the load silently. In 2022, this was like an identity hangover. And by now, people started to realize, I'm not the same person anymore. The life that we lived up until kind of 2020, that was gone now. That was gone. Something else was happening. Something else was trying to be born from us. Our soul started to kind of speak a little bit louder, you know, the healing work, the Reiki, the energy, the yoga, the meditations, all that stuff started to become really not just popular, but there was a calling, okay? There was this big calling, and something inside us was, I can't go back. Something's changing. Something different is happening here. It was the identity hangover. I'm not the same. I don't want what I used to want, okay? The drinking, the partying, the excessive lives that we had all lived for so long. Now people started to want to change. They wanted different. I don't even know who I am anymore, okay? This was when the relationships, friendships, groups, this all started to break down. You started to, because you wanted different, those who had been in your life to that point, you started to see cracks, okay? People talk about this thing called the veil lifting. That's what happens when you start to kind of wake up spiritually, energetically, intuitively, and you just start to see behaviors and stuff in people that you probably just ignored for a long time. So relationships broke down or changed, the careers, values. There was a big dip in the mental health. And I actually remember back in 2022, there was a huge kind of, especially in Dublin, especially in the men's groups, the swim groups and stuff like that. That's when it all started to come together. A lot of suicides, okay? A lot of people had got to this point and it broke them. It was too much for them. The mind wasn't able to comprehend what had happened in the world and what they were left with, okay? I remember that clearly. 2023, this was a slow burn of accumulated stress. So think about it. The stress of all of our life, but from 2020 to 2023 was the pressure cooker, okay? We were being stripped. We were purging emotionally, energetically. This year wore people down. That chronic fatigue, that tiredness in our bones, the financial strain, okay? From 2020, there was we were being given money to stay at home. Now we had to pay it all back. Now there was these financial pressures again. The rat race was starting. We were back out into the world. There was an emotional numbness starting to creep in, and I call this the void, okay? My own emotional void hit in 2024, but this is when it started. You come into this place where you can't feel anything, and it started from 2023. You might have experienced it last year. You might be actually going through it now, okay? Somewhere on your spiritual journey, you will hit the void. You can't feel anything. It's dark, it's dull, it's scary. Even when you're writing out gratitude, it's like, I don't even believe this. I have no emotional connection to this, okay? You're in the void. From the suppressed grief from 2020 to 2022, we were carrying that suppressed grief, okay? We were feeling stuck and not knowing why. 2023 was very deceptive. It looked like we were all back functioning on the outside, but internally we were drained, disconnected and directionless. And I want to emphasize on that a little bit. There was no direction. Nobody knew which way to go. Nobody knew what was next. It was the build up before the storm. 2024, it was the crumbling of the old structures. And when I tell you guys, 2024 hit me hard. It was like, I know that it was a huge ancestral piece of work that I'm doing. I felt like the pain was in my bones, okay? And it was, for me, with my birth chart and all the stuff that I was walking through, it was definitely centered around poverty, finding my voice, feeling safe in the world again. It was like this old survival was being pulled out of my bones. My body actually hurt. 2024 was really hard for me. This is the year that everything unstable began to crack for real, okay? Anything that's not meant to be in your life, it was cracking, but it was cracking. There was no going back. There was job instability. Now, remember, I'm talking globally, so you might relate to some things, all of it or none of it. It's okay. The relationship breakdown started to happen because people were starting to wake up more, starting to kind of claim themselves, their worth, what they want. That soul whisper was, there's nothing, there's more. You're capable of more. That started to pierce through. Money pressure always, mental burnout, the emotional volatility. We were up, we were down, we were happy, we were sad. It was like a swing and roundabout. But the boundaries were collapsing, okay? Anything that you had been accepting in your life was now right here. Loneliness. There was a deep, energetic wave of loneliness that was coursing through all of our bones and our bodies collectively. Nothing felt safe in 2024. It was like the rug had been pulled from under us. Some of us felt it in 2024. Some of us are feeling it now. It just depends where you are on your journey, but you will hit this point. Nothing felt safe. It was like our feet we couldn't ground. Our feet just wouldn't hit the floor. 2024 was a transition year, and it stripped away what no longer was aligned. It might just take a little bit of time for that to kick in, but energetically in the spiritual realm, things were being pulled away, but without giving any new direction. You were just left in limbo, in the void. Limbo was the old life was gone, but we're not fully in the new life yet. Okay, so 2024, 2025, the old life is gone, but I don't know what's next. I don't know what the new life is. I'm stuck in this limbo. The foundations were weakened. So why did 2025 hit so hard? Okay, let's get into it. Now, where's my sheets? 2025, when I think about it, I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, so why did 2025 hit us like a truck? Because it did. Because the previous 5 years had already drained everyone's reserves. Our nervous system was completely dysregulated. It was shut down. So by the time we got to 2025, it hit us like a truck. We were already overloaded, already mentally fatigued, financially stressed, stretched as well. We were operating without purpose. So much unresolved grief from this lifetime and others. Remember, this is a spiritual experience that we are all going through. The world is changing. There's no if, buts about it. We are moving from the 3D earth of trauma, of darkness, of war, of grief. We're moving from there into the 5D energy where things are very, very different. But we have to go through this process first. Unresolved grief, ignoring the body's signals. I have worked with hundreds of people this year. I've sat and done one-to-ones with doctors, with psychotherapists, with all types of people. And every single person that has sat in front of me, everyone has bypassed their body and are now living up from the mind. Their logical mind is trying. We are in complete shutdown, complete fight, flight, freeze, that the mind is so loud and it's scanning everything. We are disconnected. We're not paying attention to the body signals, and we're living up here in our mind. And that's why all of the work that I've been doing with everyone in 2025, I've told everybody, don't worry about the big goals, the dreams. We'll tip away at that. That will come in time. 2025 was nervous system work, inner child work, nervous system regulation. And I hope, if you are listening to this video, I hope you took my advice and you are starting to feel somewhat safer, grounded in your body. There was also this calling. This is when the soul's calling. This 2025, the soul started to definitely shout a little bit louder. You are capable of more. You were pretending though that everything was fine. 2025 is not fine. There's no more pretending. We have been rinsed inside out and backwards. Nobody is fine. Nobody's getting through this year fine. Your nervous system couldn't hold anymore. If you go back and look at the video on my page where I talk about, and sometimes I just test the waters. My little spidey senses would be like, just see how everyone's doing, and I might just ask a question, or I might say something like, is anyone else experiencing this? I've already gone through it. I know what I'm talking about. Sometimes I might say it like, what the fuck? I'm testing the waters with everybody. But what really upset me was the amount of replies and the amount of messages I've got that people's marriages, relationships have broke down. I know, on a higher mind way of thinking, I know that those souls decided to come back to this lifetime, to get married together, to have that experience, but also to separate at a specific time this year. But on a human level, the pain that a person has to go through with the breakdown of their life, their marriage, their relationship, that is so painful. So if you've gone through a relationship breakdown, a marriage breakdown this year, honestly, my heart is with you. I know that you will be okay. I know this is part of your soul's evolution, but also I hear you. It is extremely painful. Okay, so that was when the identity couldn't pretend. I can't do this anymore. I can't be this life in this life. I can't be this person. I've outgrown. 2020 to 2024, we have outgrown our old identities. I can't do it anymore. But 2025 isn't a punishment, it's a catalyst, okay? And a catalyst is like a springboard. It had to happen. It was a demolition. We are in a demolition phase. 2026 is on the way. But 2025 is the snake year. It's a number 9. It's endings. It's brutal. If you notice how quick time is now, time is moving fast. The time of the day, we no longer operate on a 24-hour clock. We probably get about 10 hours if we're lucky. Healing is happening quick. It's like it's cutting us down from the knees. You're gonna face this. You're gonna face what I'm throwing at you. It's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be quick, but you're gonna heal quick. Okay, I want people to remember that the breakdowns are quick, but the healing is also happening very quick. We've been forced to release, being forced to be brutally honest with ourselves. There's this identity death, and it's painful. You're not just letting go of this identity from this lifetime. You're letting go of your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, your father, your brothers. those old lineage, ancestral identities, those wounds, those soul wounds that we've carried into this lifetime. We are also walking through our soul wound. Our life is restructuring. Our nervous system is trying to reset. There is a huge emotional clearance this year, but it's bringing in an alignment. There's genuine change. There is no going back from this point. We've gone too far. But there's two things happening. There's two, what happens to the people who resisted, okay? If you resisted the work this year, you will keep looping. Your coping system will break down completely. If you are avoiding, if you avoid what's in front of you, if you avoid what your soul is asking you to do, to leave those relationships, to leave those jobs, to let go, stop holding on. If you avoid, it will keep looping. If you've been stretched this year, but you're sitting here listening to me and you're like, do you know what, Jen? I actually grew. I was stretched. I was broke, but I know I'm growing in this, then good. That you've been stretched, but you are growing. 2026, it won't let you carry the old identity, okay? And I'm gonna leave it there. I just wanted to drop in and just leave some hope, some clarity, some guidance for everybody. If this helped you kind of understand where we're at collectively, time-wise, please let me know in the comments. I love reading the comments. I love interacting. This is how we grow. This is how we help each other. When one person shares, it has a knock-on ripple effect. I'm going to host a workshop, a free workshop this week. I'm just in the middle of building all that up now that I have some time. The workshop will be a little bit deeper into this, but also next year. Okay, the next few years, I don't want to just hand all of the difficult stuff. There is hope, there is light coming, but it's going to come at a cost of letting go of this. Let go of all of this. Don't take this to the New Year's. Don't take this into the New Year's with you. Okay, from my heart to yours, from my home to your home. I'm happy to be back. I'm happiest when I'm teaching. Okay, if this helped, please share. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.